He's got to dress it up somehow.
I know. And you know what? He does a good job dressing up. I actually have said this to you before. He's a terrific play-by-play guy.
He's a great play-by-play guy.
He's excellent.
Everything is freaking the death march of it. Everything is like, the storming the beaches at Normandy.
Oh, yeah, no. It's like an epic written by Homer.
No, it is.
So to speak.
It's quite literally. We're Omaha Beach.
Yeah, the Odyssey, the Iliad.
When what it is a perfunctory gentleman's sweep in the first round of the NBA playoffs that they could have sleptwalked into.
Seriously.
But listen to this guy.
Bullied, beaten, Warriors. How about you beat a bunch of bums?
You beat a bunch of bums.
That's really what it was at the end of the day.
Who could not put the ball in the ocean.
No, and I'll tell you.
Did you try watching some of that?
Yes.
One of the worst shooting teams I've ever seen in my life.
I'm glad you mentioned this in the email exchange because there were when they put up a jumper, you went, that's not going on.
Oh, my God. I told you. What do they call that back iron again? The thing in back?
Yeah, it's like the little
The
plate.
bracket.
The bracket, the thing?
Yeah.
Jimmy, I meant to ask you for this. I'll tell you off the air. Can you get the cut of all the big board hits for us, please?
Even that Wagner was he shot pretty well, but he stinks too. But he had a pretty good game last night. I was like, well, where'd this come from?
He gets into the lane. He can finish around the rim.
He does. He finishes around the rim.
He can't shoot the basketball.
No. He doesn't really shoot particularly well either.
They can't shoot the basketball. You just tell me when you have that, Jimmy.
It's like a medicine ball with the way they play it.
But again, listening to our guy, it's the
Bataan Death March.
The Death March of Bataan. I'm trying to think of what was the greatest military upset in the history.
The beach at Normandy.
The beaches at Normandy. We actually have exclusive audio of the Magic, the Orlando Magic shoot around, them trying to score the basketball before the game. Go ahead. They blow. They suck. And they play hard defense and they're tenacious and all those things. And but let's just get that out of the way, please, for the love of Pete.
Oh, no. So they might have as little skill, especially other than Banchero. They might have as little skill as any team in the league.
Oh, God. It's just I had to stop watching. And I can't. Me and NBA blowouts, I just can't. I can't. And when Banchero fouled out, which, again, I tried to tell you, I love his game. He's a rising star, but he's so stupid on defense. If you leave your feet, the Celtics are good at drawing fouls. Tatum's going to hit the deck, or they're going to draw the foul. You got to be careful. And when Banchero got his fifth foul in the third quarter,
that's when I tapped out.
That was it. That was it.
And then
I started doing the dishes. I can't.
And Tony Brothers turned around because he said something to him too, and was like, "What'd you say to me?" And that's why I was like, "Well, we're done here.
Done." But no, the ragbag group of Patriots somehow overcome impossible odds to soldier their way through. But when's the last time we had a real NBA game here with stakes, where something was at stake or something on the line?
Miami Game 7.
It's been 2 effing years.
Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals last year against the Pacers.
No, they were never going to lose that series. You knew they were never going to lose that series. You never felt truly in danger as a Celtic fan, even if they lost that game. Never once did you feel it threatened. When's the last time you felt threatened as a Celtics fan? It's been going on 2 calendar years. So gin up as much drama as you need to, and I don't blame you, but you're just ginning it up. That's all you're doing. Go ahead.
No, definitely. I mean, that's totally what it is. Once that game opened up, that was the end of it. In fact, the Celtics could have gotten to 105 and just kind of stopped, because there's no way Orlando was getting to 100 points in that game.
The Celtics kind of stunk last night. I mean,
in the first half, they were half asleep.
In the first half, they were half asleep?
They were half asleep. Totally agree. Yep.
And so that part annoyed me in that first half, because it had the feel of like, are you going to have this play out like that stupid Atlanta series a few years ago where it went 6 and you were a little bit beat up, and I think that else ended up contributing to their ultimate demise against Miami, and they didn't do that. So I'll give credit there. They finished these bums in 5 games like they should have. If that went 6, it's kind of embarrassing.
Sounds like I'm ragging on them. I'm not. The Celtics are great. I think they're better than they are last year. And here's my question. Because there's really nothing to talk about with this series. There's really nothing to talk about with the next one, and I don't think the next one either. I don't believe in Cleveland. And so I think these are all sweeps or gentlemen sweeps, and so we're just ginning up drama. Which, again, I'm happy to do, but not the way Grandy does it. I'm happy to do it on the other side of it. And so the other side is this. This is how I would frame the conversation. Do you feel better or worse about their championship chances than you did 2 weeks ago? And now I'm talking about, like, look at everything. Mm-hmm. After watching the series out west, watching the series in the East, I guess considering how they played or their health or whatever, do you feel better or worse about their championship chances than you did 2 weeks ago? 617-779-0985. Your answer?
I feel a little worse. And I'll tell you why I feel a little worse. Because at the end of the day, I think that they've put the whistles away in the NBA this postseason. And so to me, the style of game is different. The level of competition the Celtics are going to see is different, I think, unless guys that they play, teams that they play all of a sudden have key players go down with injuries over, the course of the remaining several weeks of the postseason. But I don't know if they can get through an entire postseason and win it if they're getting beat up in every round. And when I say beat up, I don't think they're a physical team. They're more physical than they used to be, but I think the what's waiting for them in the final 2 rounds is going to be totally different than it was a year ago. There were teams that are more motivated. The style of play doesn't totally suit them. They can win more than they used to in these sorts of games, but I feel worse.
I feel better. There's been really no residual after effect to that injury to Jason Tatum to me. I think he's been awesome these last couple of games. They didn't play with their food, and they didn't succumb to the scum, like this dirt that you saw from the Magic, which is the only way they were going to maybe extend this series to 6 games. They battled through it in these last 2. Granted, they all looked half asleep in that first half. I didn't like that. But especially the game prior in Orlando, Orlando really tried to muck that up as much as possible, and it felt like, they may steal another one here, but Tatum specifically and the rest of them really battled through it. So, no, I feel – and the East stinks. So, they'll have a real battle with whoever they end up playing, whether it's OKC, Golden State, whoever in the final, but I feel better about them.
So, I feel worse because of the field, and I'm just talking about the teams out west. Again, I have no concern about what's coming out east at all. Yeah, and I think they're better than they were last year. I do. I think they're better in that. I just think Tatum's even a year older and a year stronger, and I think he's playing with a little more edge to his game that he's going to need. And I guess they've shown me a little something playing through the injuries.
Haven't they shown you guys something stylistically? I'm sorry to cut you off, but that they're not going to live and die by the 3.
Yes.
That to me is okay, they've learned their lesson here a little bit.
So good point. I love that thing last night. They didn't, the first time since, I think, did they say 1998 or 2018? I'm sorry. I think it was the first time since 2018 they didn't make a single 3-pointer in a half.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Or maybe they shot only 6, and that was their fewest attempts since 2018. There was some stat that they threw out on the broadcast, on the NBC broadcast, that it was either, the lowest attempts or lowest makes they've had in 7 or 8 years. And which I love. I do. I think it's great. The 3-point shot was barely a consideration last night. And you won by, was it 30 points at the end of the day, whatever it was?
Well, it wasn't a consideration in the first half.
How many did they hit in the second?
What did they go? 9 of what in the second half?
9?
Yeah, but they had a flurry of them.
But
no, I take it back. They finished with 13, and they went 13 of 18 in the second half.
Okay, that's a decent number. I guess you're right.
I mean, I don't think
they went ahead on the 3-pointer, did they?
I think that was part of it.
Maybe I just checked out because it got so stupid.
They started making them from the outside, and then all of a sudden it was like a freaking avalanche. So they started going in anywhere. So I looked at first half. They were down at the half.
Yeah. By 2.
Right, to a team that can't score. So this is the thing, and I'm not telling you that I had any concerns about them winning the series, because none of us did. But the fact of the matter is Orlando made them work for it, and had Orlando been able to score, the series might have gone 6. Might have got, I don't think it ever was going to get to 7. They're just not that good. But they still don't really want to play that way. They're not great at it. The best case for winning those games to me is that they can play defense on their end and make it hard on you too. They have that capacity, and that I do like. I give them credit for that.
So They didn't win the series on the three-point shot, but not that they needed to, which I don't think they need to, or that they're going to, or they will be able to. Like, just that thing. I feel better about them. I think they're a year older, stronger, little tougher. I see Tatum playing with a little more edge. Porzingis is healthy for now, for whatever that's worth. So I think they're in a better place than they were last year. I think the East, and I know, Mazz, you disagree with me. I think the East is just as bad as it was. I'm not worried about the East. I think when you get to what's ever coming out West is going to be night and day from last year. And I think Golden State can beat you. I think Houston, I'm impressed by Houston.
Sure, with good reason.
I'm impressed by Houston, and then by extension, I'm impressed that Golden State's up on them. And OKC can do some of what the Magic just did defensively and off the ball and all of that, and they can score. So I think that the final is going to be a real series. And so I think your chances are a little – so I feel a little less about your chances. I don't feel less about you in a vacuum.
The road is a lot harder.
The road's going to be harder, and I really just mean the final.
Yeah, and look, but even this series, okay, and I'm not telling you, they were never in jeopardy of losing it. But some of the games were grinds. They all were, really, except for the second half of this. So you had to fight for it a little bit more than you would expect in the first round of an NBA series. Usually these things are 30-point leads at halftime. It's like what Oklahoma City did. It's like what Cleveland did. And you run away with it, and it's really like they're scrimmages. They're preseason games, for crying out loud. This was at least physical. You know, they got knocked around. They took some shots. They gave some back, which is good. But it does require you to fight.
Yeah, but in the past, don't you think this probably would have lent itself to this going a little longer?
100%. 100%, Murray.
But I think they got over that last year.
Yeah, so they're more mature team now than they were before. Like, that is indisputable to me. But you still have to fight. You got to go through those 48 minutes and fight, and it takes a little out of you. Now, like, I just think as that goes on, if it continues in the postseason, Mike, I don't think Cleveland's going to beat them. I think Cleveland's going to fight them, though. And Cleveland's got more scorers than Orlando does, and Cleveland will play some defense. Orlando's got the 30th offense in the league. They suck. The freaking Magic suck.
So hard to watch.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
To the point where I didn't watch it. I stopped watching it.
Well, yeah, with good reason. Like, you know, so last night.
You'll hear the sound. There was a wide open corner three.
Oh.
That some guy. I can't remember who it was. It doesn't matter.
So bad.
Air ball, like we put it 2 feet over the basket. I'm like, I can't watch this.
Oh my gosh, it's just, and some of those shots, like again, not just like a lot of it. How many 24-second violations do they have?
Bad. It's so bad.
It was ridiculous.
Wagner didn't want to shoot. Like how many until the Banchero goes out because he takes stupid fouls. Like, dude, stop. But you can't. You're their only chance. You can't foul out. It's 5 fouls in the third quarter. And so Wagner had to shoot. He didn't want to shoot. It's like I said, it's so bad. It's
like a pickup game at the Y.
Oh, my God. Okay. Do you feel better or worse about their chances? I think they're better than they were last year. I'm not talking about are they better. Their chances, the field, when you watch the NBA, the way the playoffs are being played, etc.